Good morning, everyone. It is a chilly morning in December in Norfolk, Virginia. And today I want to talk about the perfect piece of gear. It's going to surprise you. Let's go. Welcome back, everyone. Before I get to the perfect piece of gear, I want to do a little housekeeping first. How do you like the 30-year-old Patagonia snap neck tee? It's still kicking to 30 years. I said in a previous video that I was going to show another experiences video from earlier in my channel's run. I've decided not to show that video. I'm just not. I watched it. It was very long. It just didn't thrill me. It's amazing how much your editing ability changes over a couple years of doing videos every week. And I have done a video a week for 3, almost 4 years. So I'm not going to show that video. If you want to see that video, I'll put a link to it up there. I'm just not thrilled with it, but it will give you the info in it is still valid. I just don't think it's a great video. And it's more experience options or more things you can do as experiences as opposed to gifts. And it's from 2019. So link to it is up there and down below if you want to see it. But today I want to talk about the perfect piece of gear. And something that I am a firm believer in is this. You know you have the perfect piece of gear when you don't think about it. If you are thinking about a piece of gear all the time, something is not quite right. And so a piece of gear that just does what it's supposed to do and you don't think about it, that's a solid piece of gear. And that's not to say this is the only piece of perfect gear. This is a piece of gear of mine that I think is perfect. There may be others like it. You may have your own perfect pieces of gear. If you've got a great piece of gear that you absolutely love, that you think is perfect, tell me down in the comments. But this piece of gear I have been using for 27, 28 years, something like that. I've done 0 repairs to it. It has traveled a great deal. And this is what that piece of gear is. So yes, this is the North Face Base Camp duffel. I have been using this duffel, I think since about 1995 or 6, maybe 7. I'm not positive. It was a gift. It was bought for me by an employer who was impressed with the job that I did. It was before I worked in the outdoor industry. It was when I worked in photography. We went out to Utah to shoot skiing, and I sort of wrangled the entire thing. And then at the end of the job, he saw me sort of eyeballing this in a store, and I couldn't quite afford it, but I was really lusting after it. And so as a thank you for doing a good job, he bought it for me, and I have been using it ever since. And if you're not aware, I travel a lot. This has been for over a decade the bag that I use when I go and teach a WFA, Wilderness First Aid course. It has been on hundreds, if not 1,000 flights. It gets beaten up, it gets dropped in puddles, it just gets abused. It's made out of, at the time, what was like a PVC coated like truck tarp. So it's incredibly durable. It is not waterproof, but it is pretty highly water resistant. Like if you put it down in a puddle, the stuff inside of it is not getting wet. It's got really nice big zippers. It is just a great bag. What I really love about it is that it's got like a regular duffel bag handle carrying strap, as well as backpack straps. It came with a single shoulder strap, but it's a little bit big for that. But I love having the ability to put it on as a backpack when I'm walking through an airport with it, or to a car, or on a subway, or a train, or whatever. And then when I check it, I put the backpack straps underneath the regular handles and seal that closed. It's got a Velcro closure to hold that stuff in place. And absolutely love it. So I said, if you think about it, it's not perfect, but there were two things that I added to this, or not really two things that I added to this. There were two things that were a problem with this. Neither of them the bag's fault. Number one, for some of the trips that I do, it's not quite big enough. And so I solved that problem another way. The other thing that I did was I added an Apple AirTag to it so that when I check it, I can keep track of where it is. And knock on wood, it's never been lost. But if it gets lost, I can at least tell them, hey, I can see where it is, this is where it is, or this is where it last was. So I absolutely love this product. But as I said, there was one problem. It wasn't quite big enough. And so here's what I did. This is the Patagonia Black Hole Duffel. Almost as good, so close to being as good, but just not quite. I use it all the time. This bag I bought for my Knowles sailing course because that bag wasn't quite big enough. Once you put a PFD in the North Face bag, it sort of takes up all the space. So this is the 70-liter size of this bag. It's still checkable without being so big that you get an immediate oversized baggage fee, but will swallow up all my sailing gear or paddling gear with ease. There is also a 100-liter size. With that one, you got to check. You might get hit with an oversized baggage fee. So this is the bag that I used to get my gear to Alaska for the last kayaking seminar that I did. I also used it for my Knowles sailing instructor course. I also used it for my Knowles sailing course, the non-instructor version. My wife used it for her sailing course. So I've had this not nearly as long. It's already done a lot of trips. It is a similar material. This is a recycled PVC, which is really nice. Construction is very similar. It's got the same sort of strap configuration, is very similar. One of the things I don't like, the straps here are a lot narrower than on the Basecamp duffel. And I should point out, my Basecamp duffel, as I said, is sneaking up on 30 years old. I think it's like 27 years old, I think. And that bag has probably changed a little bit in terms of construction and things like that and materials, but they do still make a similar bag with the U-shaped zipper with big burly zippers. This also has a U-shaped zipper, which makes it easy to get things in and out of. A mistake I made when I got the North Face was that I got it in black because I was in my 20s and living in lower Manhattan and everything had to be black. And it is kind of invisible on a luggage carousel. And so if I had it to do over again, I would buy it in the screaming yellow North Face color. It would be far easier to see. And so we sort of did that with this. We got it in a bright orange so that it was easy to see on a luggage carousel. I love this bag as much, but I do love the North Face a little bit more just because the straps are a little bit wider, a little bit thicker. A great bag and really nice. Brings up a question that came up between myself and a friend of mine that I met on my Knowles kayak seminar, which was, how do you travel with your paddle? This is, I guess, bonus fact. When I have to travel with my paddle, I don't use like a paddle bag. They sell paddle bags designed for traveling. I just don't trust them. They don't look burly enough to protect my paddle. So I wrap it really carefully, like in bubble wrap or extra clothing, in a box, and then just check the box. I would like to get another Apple AirTag for inside that box. I haven't done that yet, but I will do that soon. So that's how I deal with traveling with my paddle. Pre 9/11, you could carry a paddle on a plane. Today you can't, but you can carry a golf club. If you can explain that, I'd love to know why, because I can do a lot more damage with a golf club than I can with my 21-ounce carbon fiber paddle. Yeah, it makes no sense. So these are, in my opinion, the perfect gift. I suppose if you're looking for a gift to buy someone, for the holidays, like, these are a great choice for hauling gear. I absolutely love them. As I said, this is 70 liters. There is also a 100-liter version. There is also a 40-liter version. This is the 70-liter version. There's various other sizes. I'll put the sizes up over here. The sizing on my North Face duffel is a little confusing because if you look at the sizes currently, there is a medium, which they say is 70 liters, and I thought mine was a medium. I suspect mine is more like 50 liters, so I think that they must have changed the sizes at some point in those almost 30 years, but absolutely love these products. Check them out. There's also a North Face Voyager bag, or Voyager duffel, which I don't think is good as this one. Some of the other features that I like on these is the daisy chains are really nice if you need to connect a bag to the outside. I love the big burly zippers. I love the U-shaped zipper. Because that North Face bag is black, things tend to disappear inside of it, so this is a little bit better in that sense. But they are both amazing bags. You cannot go wrong. And if I get half as much life out of the Patagonia bag as I've gotten out of the North Face bag, I will have definitely gotten my money's worth. Particularly since the North Face bag was a gift. I didn't pay for it, so I've definitely gotten my money's worth. Okay, that's it. I think just one more video is coming this year, which is a 3-minute look back at the year in like music video style, which I had a lot of fun making. Do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe. You can buy me a coffee on Coffee. My books are still 25% off on Amazon. You can get those probably in time for the holidays, certainly the Kindle versions in time for the holidays. And I'll see you on the water January 1st.